Stephen A. Smith has been criticizing Jasmine Crockett. First, he came out and said that she wasn't properly representing her constituents in Texas. I mean, he's not from Texas, doesn't live in Texas, so I don't know how he could make that comment. And then when he got a little pushback on that, he decided to say this.
Educated, brilliant black woman representing over 750,000 people is engaging in verbiage and rhetoric for the streets. And that's fine when you're in the streets. How many of y'all bring the streets to the table when you at the negotiating table trying to get a deal done? How many of you are able to think that for a second that you're able to bring street verbiage to Capitol Hill and that's going to work for you? You literally have senators and congressional figures on Capitol Hill on the side of the Republicans telling the networks, whether it's Fox News, News Nation, or anybody else, please, please, please put her front and center on camera. Why would they do that? Because they know it wins for them. I would say you.
So this dude who has made his living being a caricature of a black person, right? In the vein of, say, of George Jefferson, loud, just this over the top black dude. That's how he's made his money on ESPN. And he knows that, right? So he is saying that Jasmine Crockett, an educated woman, a lawyer, and a congressional representative, is too street. Stephen A. Smith, man, please, man, for the love of God, stay in your lane, George Jefferson. Stay in your lane. So, Stephen A. Smith.
I am absolutely loving the discourse between Stephen A. Smith and those who are having to fact check him because he decided to attack Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett for the way that she speaks. Are you kidding me? You are the guy who goes on live television every single day and goes, well, you don't have anything to do with me. You better know what you're dealing with, Kevin Durant, okay? I'm a dangerous man, okay? And it's the same guy who pulls out a cigar and has a cowboy hat when the Cowboys lose. And you know why he's doing all this? Because he's a performer. He's not a journalist. He's a performer. He is performing. Are we forgetting that he is the same guy who did soap operas? This is true. This is the same guy who made an appearance in one of the Creed movies. He wants to be an actor, and he is doing it on national television every single day. The issue we have is that he has a large platform and he is misinforming so many people. There are critiques of every single politician, but the route that he went, which shows how shallow he thinks, is to attack the way she speaks. Are you for real, man? For real? Like, hey, why don't you bring up how Texas Republicans are trying to gerrymander her out of her own district? But you can't do that because you're the same guy when the FCC was coming and Brendan Carr were coming after Jimmy Kimmel. You said, well, you know, these are dangerous times and we really got to think about how we address these certain things and we got to navigate a certain way in order to survive. No, you don't bend the knee to fascism. You don't bend the knee to authoritarianism. But that is exactly what you do. That's what you're proving once again. So here's what I say to Stephen A. Smith. Stop. It is really eye-opening that you would rather coddle Steve Bannon, Riley Gaines, Byron Donalds, and many others, Ben Shapiro on the right, and you don't keep that same energy for Jasmine Crockett. Again, critiques everywhere for every single politician, but it is eye-opening.
Hi family, how you all doing? Welcome back again to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. So family, you see, when I see a black man uses his platform to talk down on a black woman, especially one like Jasmine Crockett, who's out here, standing strong and speaking truth to power, it's hot so bad and it's very sad. Okay, so here we have Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith could have uplifted her. He could have said she's bold, she's fearless, but instead he chose to question how she speaks, like her tone is the problem, not the injustice she's calling out. And that's very sad. Okay, this is what white supremacists are meant to do, but the black man is doing it, and you know what that means, right? That's what hurts. Like black people are speaking out, black people are backlashing him, you know. It's a pattern, okay? People love the idea of a strong black woman until that strength makes, them uncomfortable, right? So let's watch together and, hear what people have to say about Stephen and what he said about Jasmine, okay? And let me know what you think in the comment section, right? We will come back after a while. So let's keep watching, family.
Stephen A. Smith is the perfect example of not all skin folk or kin folk. That man is up there on his platform on a daily basis, disparaging and demeaning black women in power or athletes, just tearing us down. He is out there in full racist white supremacy in black skin against black women. See, I peeped his game a long time ago, especially with the comments he used to like to make about Kamala Harris. She wasn't this, she wasn't that. Now his latest new target, Jasmine Crockett. Oh, she's too ghetto, or she's this, and I don't know how she's representing her constituents in Texas. Guess what, Stephen? They voted her in office to do exactly what she's doing, which is to go toe-to-toe with this racist regime and hold Trump accountable. See, you got a lot to say about what she's saying to Trump, but you ain't got a damn word to say about what Trump is saying about her or in regards to other black women. We're low IQ. We're this. We're uneducated. We're unqualified. You don't have anything to say about the dog whistling coming out of Washington, D.C. in regards to black women. But no, you're going to chime in and talk about how Jasmine should be different or she should mind her place. You got a lot to say until confronted, because you said some shit about Serena, but her husband came on your show, your network, and confronted you. And you stumbled all over your damn words because you didn't have shit to say then. We as Americans need to stop giving people like you a platform. Period, point blank. Because you're disgusting. And I don't know how your Thanksgiving dinners go with your sisters, your aunties, or your mothers, shit, or even your brothers. But I'm going to tell you something right now, Stephen. The self-hate you have towards black people or towards yourself, you need to seek some therapy. As always, I'm sending peace, love, and good vibes. Have a great
Smith said that Jasmine Crockett isn't doing her job, that instead of going against Trump, she should understand that he's a man in power and she should figure out a way to work with him. Stephen A. said that he doesn't like Jasmine because she sounds too street, yet he spends most of his time screaming at the top of his lungs, sounding like the world's silliest house slave. He says that her verbiage is inappropriate, yet our president says that he likes to grab women by the How appropriate is that, Stephen? Maybe Jasmine would earn the respect of Stephen A. if she sounded more like Candace Owens. Remember, Jasmine is a criminal and civil rights attorney, and Candace spends most of her time on HBCU campuses pushing Turning Point USA agenda. And if you remember, Turning Point USA was founded by Charlie Kirk, who said that the civil rights movement was a mistake. This is why nobody gives a about respectability politics, because as a black woman, no matter how educated you are, there will always be somebody there to disrespect you and discredit you, and it's unfortunate that it will always be a man that looks just like you. Stephen also said that D.L. Hughley is more of an activist than he is a comedian, but when you see the agenda that's being pushed on black Americans, when you understand that black Americans, especially black women, are being targeted because of the 350-something odd thousand women that have lost their jobs, you do need to be more of an activist than anything else, because somebody has to step up and say something. And Stephen, you could be doing something with your platform other than performing and bootlicking for daddy, but we understand that you need to keep your job. Stephen, you need to do just like your hairline and fall the on back. Black women have lost their jobs, people can't feed their families, children are getting shot up in schools, and black men are being hung on trees. And the only thing Stephen is worried about is how somebody sounds. One of the few people, mind you, one of the few people that are actually fighting for us. So T-Daddy Trump, please drop off some D at Stephen's door. He's been begging for it.
Like, why aren't black men right now saying, Stephen A. Smith, we banning him, we not listening to his podcast, we're not watching his show anymore? That's what black women do. We organize.
Yeah, but just irrational. Tiffany Cross is saying that black men should be canceling Stephen A. Smith because he dared to have a criticism of a black elected representative. Then following it up with, he's got little d energy.
Hey, y'all. Stephen A. Smith. You sit on one of America's biggest mics and you decide to talk down to a black woman in Congress. Congratulations. You've shown your hand. You have a huge platform and this is how you use it. To tear down a black woman in power. That ain't leadership. That's just blatant laziness. What's especially frustrating is the power dynamic. Congresswoman Crockett is one of the few black women in Congress unapologetically calling out injustice, while you, Stephen A., have the loudest microphone in media. Your words don't just travel, they shape perceptions. When it comes from inside the community, y'all, the how and why absolutely matter. Stephen, why not open a conversation about strategy or political impact without belittling her fire? You said Jasmine Crockett's not working because she won't cozy up to Trump. No, sir. That woman is doing the real work, standing 10 toes down against corruption, lies, and chaos. But here's the truth, my guy. Sometimes dissent is work. Sometimes confrontation is the only path left when systems refuse to change. You don't get to devalue her voice just because you can't stomach the hate. But every time a black woman speaks truth with fire, somebody gets uncomfortable. Suddenly, she's the problem. No, she's the mirror. This isn't just about Crockett, darling. It's about what happens when some black men with platforms police black women's speech. When you shame her tone, you shift attention away from the policies she's advancing, the people she's fighting for, and the history she carries. Just to be clear, though, black women don't need your approval to lead, darling. Stephen A., your mic is loud. But your impact is hollow when you tear down black women doing the work. You won't risk doing yourself, darling. If you want respect, stop belittling the very people who are fighting so you don't have to. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett isn't here to be safe. She's here to do the work. She's here to upset the balance. And the louder you talk down to her, the more history will remember whose side you were really on, Stephen. And baby, history will replay this back. It certainly will remember who fought for the people and who just talked for the paycheck.
Stephen A. Smith was seen running off stage as he was talking about politics so passionately. Now it all makes sense why he got so much to say about Jasmine Crockett, because he's trying to position himself as a politician. Now, they're saying that he ran off the stage because he was just so passionate. I personally feel like he ran off stage because he had the bubble guts. Y'all tell me what y'all think.
A government shutdown is going on right now. A man has to work on DoorDash when he's really an air traffic controller, that we applauded, and we're up here talking about how much some money is going to cost, and the only person that don't have a check coming is him. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a break.
All right. We'll go to the audience.
His message is not wrong, but I feel like the walk-off was very performative. I really think it was the BGs. I think he had the bubble guts. I'm telling y'all. But for him to be giving criticisms about Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett while he's trying to position himself in some way politically is insane, because she'll be more qualified than he ever was. It's very much giving me crabs in a barrel, and you have to bring women down to lift yourself up as a man. I know he was in that bathroom blowing it up.
Jasmine Crockett.
You know, the other day, because they said I was insulting Jasmine Crockett. Why you got to call out the sister? Because the sister's the one sounding like that. I know she's intelligent. I know she's accomplished. I know she's smart. That's not what I said. What I said was, that's not how you sounded. You sounded belligerent talking about the president. You're a representative representing the state of Texas in your district in Texas. They didn't send you there for that. They sent you there to find a way to get what you can for us while he's in office, while assisting him getting out of office so you could get somebody in there who's more favorable to my district. Same thing with AOC. Same thing with Eric Swalwell in California. Same thing with any elected official. Your job is not to go there and say, derail the president. I could do that. You're a representative. You're an elected official. You're on Capitol Hill. What are you doing? You're supposed to be working. You cannot be working if all you're saying is, I don't care what he comes up with. I'm not agreeing to it. You can't, listen, you can't figure out what, unless he's the president. I don't like it. But damn, he gonna be here till 2028. I got 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 constituents to deal with. Let me see what I can get.
All right, this weekend, before I get into it, a lot of people have been ripping Stephen A. for his comments. Tamika Mallory, co-founder of Until Freedom, she said this here. She said, black men have a question. I see a lot of great commentary from many of you on Stephen A. Smith's ignorant statements from time and time again. This time he disrespected a powerful black woman who's putting her life in danger, fighting for us. At what point will you all lead the charge to turn him off? Then Bakari Sellers made some comments, and then Stephen A. took offense to that. And here's just some of what Bakari said.
What Bakari Sellers needs to recognize is, why don't you tell what the truth is? Why don't you speak about the level of resentment that you really, really have? That the American people are more willing to listen to somebody like me or the others that you mentioned rather than you.
Black men, stop finding time to talk about black women. Black men, stop finding time to talk about black women, especially when they're developing at twice the rate that we are. I was scrolling and seeing 6 conversations of how black women attitudes are affecting the black community, how black women are not doing X, Y, Z, how black women can improve, how black women can treat black men better. Black men, you know what's affecting the black community? The behavior of black men. The fact that I can drive through my old neighborhood and see all black men on the corners. The fact that I had to bury more friends than I currently have, and guess what? They're all black men. The fact that black women are one of the most educated people in this country, but we are not. And yeah, you could cherry pick a few black men. Me, myself, I make more money than the average American. Yes, good. Congratulations. But as a collective, we have not done anything since the civil rights movement. That's crazy. You want to have a conversation? Then talk about our black young men being better leaders. And yeah, black women suffer emotionally just like we do, but at least they're trying to pick themselves off the floor instead of sit there. And you want to talk about how black women don't submit to their men and how their attitudes affect everybody. You know what? Black women have never been pushovers, and I commend them for that. You don't like black women because you cannot tell them what to do. Instead, you actually have to hold yourself accountable, and that's too much. Black women have fought slave masters. Black women have been in the front lines of many civil rights movements. Black women have been in the front lines of protests that didn't even involve them. And even while everybody's trying to say that they are the most undesirable group around, they have still stood 10 toes down and supported and loved black men. And while you think love is just submission, love is accountability. And that is too much for black men to handle.
But the reason white America doesn't respect black women is because black men don't respect black women. You know what I've never seen? I have never seen a white man talk tough shit to a black woman when you got, you know what I'm saying, some real black men around. I've never seen it. I have never seen it, bro. These white supremacists and corny goofballs like Myron Gaines and Fresh and Fit, Walter Weeks, they only talk tough shit to black women when they know it's not a black dude around that can beat their fucking asses. You know what I'm saying?
Kanye's my name, and controlling the narrative is my game. Right now, Stephen A. Smith is trying to control the narrative, but he's losing the plot, okay? I see what's going on here, and I want to break it down to the rest of you all from a PR comms perspective. Here's what's really going on. Sass isn't just launching a podcast. He's trying to build a legacy media empire. He dropped his book, Straight Shooter, in 2023 and went on his book tour, but he didn't do it for book sales. He did it to reposition his brand. That was just the warm-up. Now it's 2025, and boom, we get Straight Shooter, the podcast. It hits Sirius and all of the other podcast channels. And what does he do? A full court media blitz. We got Good Morning America, Fox News, The Pivot, Carmelo Anthony's podcast, The Breakfast Club. He's hitting all the big names. Good for him. That's not a coincidence. That's a calculated, hard launch. But here's the problem. Stephen A. is going viral for all of the wrong reasons. He's getting attention by going extra hard on black athletes and public figures. It was LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Shannon Sharp, and now he's acting like he got beat up by girls in high school. And we got Kamala Harris, Serena Williams. I could go on and on. But then he goes quiet when it's time to check white executives, owners, and power brokers. Why? We all know why. It's because he's trying to protect access, keep his corporate doors open for whatever else he has coming up. But what he's really doing is punching down on the same community that helped build him up. And here's the twist. He thinks all this smoke is building momentum for his podcast. But what it's really doing, it's eroding trust with the people he should be building trust with, his viewers. So what's the best lesson for marketers and communication pros here? You can hard launch with controversy and outrage marketing, but your message must feel balanced. If you only clap at your people and never challenge real power, your audience will notice and they'll turn on you. Listen, don't chase short-term virality at the cost of long-term brand trust, because once the people stop believing in you, the clicks won't matter. If you are building a brand, personal or business brand, launching a new product, you need real strategy. Stephen A's launch is pretty tight. He lined up platforms, press, and all the great moments. But the message, that's where he has fumbled the bag. Because no matter how loud you yell, if people think you've sold them out, they will stop listening.
Stephen A. Smith went on the Ryan Clark podcast, The Pivot, to explain himself with all this anti-black controversy he's been in the middle of, involving Jasmine Crockett, involving turning it down with Serena Williams' husband. But instead of, I guess, explaining him, well, he did try to explain himself, but his way of explaining himself was to throw LeBron James under the bus. Okay? So Stephen A. Smith, which, by the way, LeBron James haven't mentioned Stephen A. Smith in, I don't know, months now, right? But like Stephen A. Smith would say, man, y'all be on me for speaking on black people. But like, what about LeBron James? He be speaking on black people too, and he never got smoke for white folks. It was just an overall bad strategy. Let's check it out, man.
Well, guess what? I found a way to win anyway. So this is what I've done. And so, you know, what you see is a different culture. And that's a conversation we never get into it really about in professional sports, but primarily the NBA, where you got cats and they go at NBA players and stuff like that. Like, you know, you bring up LeBron. You ever see LeBron go at a white boy? It's called what it is. You ever see him do that? You saw him come at me? Closest you ever came to seeing him do something like that was when he called out Brian Windhorst. What you calling out Brian Windhorst for? The man covered you since junior high school.
This completely backfired because all this did was force people to like point out the various instances where LeBron James have called out white people or white journalists. But even with this statement, like LeBron James don't go after white people. He only went after Brian Windhorst. Yeah, Brian Windhorst is the foremost leading white journalist in sports. That's the guy. If you were to go after somebody, that's the guy. And also, that's the guy that's been overwhelmingly positive towards LeBron James. So if LeBron James was only going after people who was hating on him particularly, then the Brian Windhorst example wouldn't matter because Brian Windhorst have been derouting LeBron James for years. And LeBron James still went on Pat McAfee and told Brian Windhorst, stop telling people we best friends. I don't know you, bro.
I see a lot too. Like I seen Brian Windhorst on one of these shows not too long ago. Like a clip.
Yeah, you played over high school.
Wendy, you guys played together in high school.
Yeah,
right? He was on your high school.
This guy was like, you know, says he's like my best friend. These guys are just weird. But
I don't know if Stephen A. Smith thought about that example too much. That defeats the narrative that Stephen A. Smith is about to get to, where he believes that LeBron James hates him. Well, not about to get to, but he said it before, where LeBron James hates him because he's not Shannon Sharp, because he's not willing to like ride LeBron James' coattails and say LeBron James is the GOAT. But Brian Windhorst was willing to do so. And LeBron James still don't mess with him because he be on BS.
Hey man, y'all can't be claiming you love black women but don't be married to one. You can't be claiming that you love black women but you ain't never got nothing good to say. A lot of y'all dudes with podcasts, microphones, all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Even y'all little platforms, we can't go down your rhetoric and see anything positive about black women. Some of y'all be married outside your race, and some of y'all be dating outside your race. but then still want to talk about black women. I don't understand. Are you obsessed? Are you obsessed? This ain't your community no more, bro. You left. Why is you worried about what black women doing? You shouldn't even be talking about what black women got going on. You should be loving your other wife, you know what I'm saying, your other girlfriend, and only worried about what you got going on over there. Worry about how your kids gonna be raised up, you know. Look into that. So miss me with this nonsense. I don't understand. It's too many beautiful. If you love black women so much, go marry one. Go marry one. Y'all be talking about we need to get back to a place of family, but then you go to others and create a new family. Come on now. Black women ain't your problem no more, bro. Worry about your other wife. Point blank, period.
I'm gonna say this because I really don't give a fuck, because who the fuck gonna do something to me? Black women have to lead because weak ass black men are too busy down on their knees for the fucking YT man. And that's the fact. So Stephen A. Smith can come after Jasmine Crockett all the fuck he wants to, because she's doing what he's afraid to do. Black men are telling black women, oh, no, you have to stay in line. Don't go too hard to the left. Don't go too hard to the right. Shut the fuck up. That's why black women act like they don't need y'all stupid ass, because you're too fucking weak. You want me to show you what black men are doing to the YT men and Trump? Hold on 1 minute. This is what black men are too busy doing in the back rooms to the YT man. That's why they can't stand up to him. That's why they're so mad that black women are taking the fucking lead. Because you motherfuckers can't lead. You motherfuckers will lead them straight to the fucking master. That's why. You can get mad at Jasmine Crockett and all the strong black women all the fuck you want to. They are the example for the young generation now, because the black men have took a back seat. That's what the fuck they are. They are so busy pandering to the YT man, to the fact that they're losing sight that they are supposed to be the ones fucking leading. So my hat's off to Jasmine Crockett. My hat is off to all the black men that are standing up and defending that black queen, because she is doing her fucking job. A lot of black men wish that they had the book smart and the education that she have. That's why they're so busy tearing her down, because they're not on her fucking level. That's why.
This whole conversation about black women not speaking in grocery stores, this is something I've been saying for a long time. Please shut the fuck up. Shut up. Leave black women alone, because it doesn't matter what they do. Y'all always find a way to make them out to be the villain. Y'all always find a way to make them out to be wrong. Leave them alone. Because, sir, you is too goddamn old to be behaving like this. Let's just start there. And two, y'all just be saying, oh, black women talk too much, they too ghetto, they don't need to speak all the time, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Here they are being quiet, minding their business, just trying to live their lives. Why they not talking to me? Blah, 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 blah. Leave them the fuck alone. Like, god damn, like, bro, what the fuck? Like, not only that, sir, this is Kroger. Like, I'm trying to get my groceries and go. No one wants to speak. You too old for that. Why y'all niggas feel entitled to a conversation from black women? Like, y'all entitled for everything from them. Leave them the fuck alone. Like, this whole conversation is fucking stupid. Like, bro, she don't owe you a damn thing. Shut up.
Not gonna hold you. Why the fuck are y'all always bothering black women? Like, what is the point? What is the reason? Like, I saw a fucking video this morning where it was like this guy pretty much complaining about black women not speaking in the grocery store. My nigga, maybe they're just trying to get fucking groceries and go home. I know for me, I walk in that bitch, I get my groceries, and I go home. I go to self-checkout. I don't even say a fucking word. Why do y'all have all these stipulations and rules for black women? Like, they can't do nothing without appeasing the masses. Like, they go to work, they gotta code switch and do all this other bullshit. They gotta go to the grocery store, the gas station, everywhere on they P's and Q's. Like, damn, they can't just chill? They can't chill. Like, what is it about black women that makes y'all feel entitled to their time? I don't get it. Like, I've never looked at a black woman in a grocery store and be like, she's not talking enough. Like, I don't give a fuck that much.
And there's something very drag-like about, like, when men cosplay women, especially, like, black women, and try to be ghetto. Like, when trying to make funny videos. Sometimes it be funny. I'm not no party pooper or nothing. Sometimes it is funny. Then other times it's just like over the top. It's just like it's just a bunch of misrepresenting black women as a whole. Like, just how men get mad when you be like, oh, all men suck, oh, all men this, all men that. Nigga, wouldn't you be mad as well if you're misrepresented to be ghetto, loud, tacky, and some more in every single funny video there's made? And to be honest, why do you even want to keep dressing up as a woman that much for? Like, and God forbid somebody try to throw the word gay in there. Like,
You see, family, black women deserve protection, not criticism. Okay? And if nobody's gonna say it, I think we need to start speaking on that. Okay? So let me know what you think about this video. Okay, let me know your thoughts. Was that critic fair, or did Smith cross the line? Okay, and no black man, not even another race, should disrespect black women, because black women carry power, they carry strength and all. Okay, so let me know what you think again in the comment section, and please don't forget to support the channel by giving this video a thumbs up and supporting by subscribing to the channel. So see you guys in my next video. Bye.